Today we get a chance to get back into the Black IPA mini-series thanks to Richard Eriksson, a viewer who sent this beer in. It's called Svart och jävlig Black IPA. That would translate into something like black and a pain in the butt. This is kind of a mistake beer because Richard said that's actually more like a porter. So we're gonna try the beer, dig into Richard's recipe and talk about how maybe he could improve this beer, and gonna give you some great tips on to make better black IPAs. But first, question of the day: are you hoarding any brew supplies? I'm Dr. Hans, this is Dr. Hans Brewery, my channel about beer and homebrewing. If you want to learn with me how to become better at beer and brewing, consider becoming a subscriber. Black IPA is one of the genres of beer that really gets me excited, but often I get excited for nothing. But it's a really nice style of beer. I want to talk about this, but yeah, let's get this puppy into a glass. Hope it's not a gusher. Why am I afraid it's a gusher? Yeah, because this contains a lot of dark malts, and one of the things that we have been discussing in this mini-series, so maybe you should watch all of the episodes, is that due to antioxidants, the shelf life of a black IPA is longer than in an IPA. I think that's the cause. But they also, for some people, the more complex sugars of the dark malts continue to ferment, and I think that is one of the reasons also that the shelf life is longer, because it's consuming more of introduced oxygen. But yeah, it also is a chance that we'll gusher. Are you ready? It's not. Applause. Awesome. So label out. This is a bottle fermented beer, so I will cap it off in the end. Can you say that? Now you can. And it's ringing in the boiler there. I need to move it out of here, or put the lid on maybe. So I'm trying to watch it for sediment. So I'm gonna end it there. The recipe for this is ordered up for my patrons, so big shout out for my patrons in the Beer Man section. And speaking of shout outs, oh, it smells. It do smells nice. Shout out to today's sponsor, BrewGoat. I'm gonna talk about them a little bit later. Cheers. First off, of course, the smell. Richard, I don't think it's... I do get like the black IPA smell. What's your favorite black IPA? Actually, the favorite black IPAs I have had is actually... Sorry, it's the one that I have brewed at home for myself. The best commercial black IPA I had, it was like a Christmas beer. I talked about it in this series. It was actually called the Brown Ale, but yeah, this year, I don't know if you have seen that video, but I think the video was called the best commercial black IPA is a Brown Ale. And this year, they actually changed the beer name to Black Ale. So yeah, I think my message got through, because I actually contacted them about it. It's not pitch black, I must say that. I do want it blacker. It smells really nice. It's not like super hoppy, but... Okay, let's dive in. Cheers, guys. Richard, I don't think this is a mistake, and I don't think it's more like a porter. I actually think this is a quite good example of a black IPA. Richard, you kind of ruined this video. I was prepared to complain and stuff. Damn it. But we're still gonna keep onto the topic, but we're gonna run to the recipe. What is a black IPA? It's also called a Cascadian Dark Ale. Maybe we should better call it a Cascadian Dark Ale than a black IPA. There are a lot of opinions what a black IPA is, and I have my own, and this stands for me. But we have one camp says a black IPA could be like and it also like mentioned on this bottle, it should be like a mindfuck beer, a black IPA, an IPA that is black. I don't think so, and I also don't think it should be about like the roasted malt, the roasted barley, chocolate. I think a good roasted grain for the black IPA is like a dehusked Carafa 3 special. It's a really good. It gives you a great color without bringing on the chocolate, without bringing on like the roasted character like the roasted barley does. It's still gonna give you the roasted taste, but not into like stout and porter territories. And together with some well thought out hops, it could make a really good black IPA. And for the roasted malts, I always do a top mashing. It's when you add the roasted malt at mash out. Sometimes I even add them at sparging, depends on the beer and how long I steep. It also depends on the beer. For black IPA, I do 10 minutes of steeping with the roasted grains, and my grains of choice is the Carafa 3. For my beer kit, my black IPA, yes, talking about my beer kit. For my beer kit, for my black IPA, I chose to go with Cascade, Willamette, and Chinook. I really want like the dark kind of hops, I think, with the pine from the Chinook, with the earthiness from the Willamette, and Cascade can bring some floral and grapefruit. Of course, also like Chinook into the grapefruit territory as well. So I think it's a really good combo for this brew. But yeah, you can also add in some other stuff, of course. But I wouldn't do like a Citra, Mosaic, Forward black IPA, but you could blend those kind of hops into the mix, of course. Yeah, and speaking of my beer kits are available at BrewGoat in Sweden right now. BrewGoat is a homebrew supplier, and it's just opened a brand new store here in Stockholm, but of course they're also available online. So yeah, thank you BrewGoat. Please go and check them out, show them your support. This is an 8% beer, but it doesn't taste like an 8% beer. Really nice. Of course, it could be more hoppy, but it's still a better black IPA than most I have bought commercially. We speak about hoarding brew supplies. I haven't hoarded any brew supplies, but to be fair, I always have a lot of home brew supplies at home. I don't like plan brew to brew. I like to have a lot of stuff at home. Looking down here, I have 25 kilos of sacks there, and I have at least like 12 kilos of wheat. How about the Munich? 5-6 kilos of that. I also have some Vienna. So I do, and I have some other malts as well. I have a lot of yeast. I have my dedicated yeast fridge, which I can grow up at any time. I always have dry yeast at hand at home, and I have a lot of hops in the freezer. So I'm not hoarding anything because I'm always hoarding brew supplies. I like to have a setup where I can brew whatever I want at any time. So I have my own little homebrew shop. Nice. But yeah, the question was to you, are you hoarding anything? People are hoarding like crazy here in Sweden. What do you guys think of black IPAs? Comment down below. Let's see. Svart och jävlig was the name of the beer. And I actually, in the recipe for the patrons, I wrote BIPA, Black IPA, and Porter. But yeah, to me, Richard, this is a Black IPA. OJ 1070 FG 1010. He used 6 kilos of pale ale malt. He mashed at 65C for 60 minutes. And he cold brewed 400 grams of roasted barley and 250 grams of chocolate malt. And cold brewing, as top mashing, give you a very like smooth beer. It really works. Also shaves conditioning time of your beer. But I tried cold brewing roasted malt and it works great. But it's so much simpler to do like top mashing. But yeah, both works. So it was a 60-minute boils. At 60 minutes he used 30 grams of Northern Brewer. At 30 minutes he used 40 grams of Citra and 40 grams of Sabro. Sabro is a hop that I never used before. It should give you like citrusy notes, I hope. Have you brewed with Sabro? Have you ever did like a Sabro smash? Can you tell something about the Sabro down below in the comments? And 5 minutes, 40 grams of Citra and 40 grams of Sabro. At 0 minutes, 30 grams of Citra and 30 grams of Sabro. There's a lot of hops in here. And this was also dry hop with 100 grams of Sabro at pitch. Yeast you use a 5 and you use 19C for 13 days. Hops wise, I think you would have get more out of the hops if you hadn't dry hopped at pitch. Because there of course is a lot of off gassing which drives off aroma. So maybe you should have waited to that into the end, not at the end of fermentation, but before the end of fermentation. So maybe you can say when you are seeing that the fermentation are going down, and if you want to measure it, maybe for this kind of beer, like 10-20, something like that, you could dry hop. But I would do it before the end, because dry hopping introduces some oxygen, and if you have off gassing and the beer is still fermenting, it will drive that off and it will give you beer a better shelf life. Yeah. It can also be an idea to not to dry hop with just one hop, to mix it up, so you could have done Sabro and Citra even there, because I found that sometimes some flavors die off first, so by mixing it up, your beer will evolve in another way. 13 days is quite long, so 19C is a good start for use of 5. Usually start like 18, something like that, but 19 is a good temperature to start use of 5. I'm not talking like pressurized fermentation here, but yeah, after a couple of days into fermentation, you can really start to ramp up the temperature, and it doesn't have to take 13 days. Don't be afraid to start ramping up your temperature, because after like it's not an exact measurement, but after like 2 or 3 days, say 3 days, the most of the flavors are produced by the yeast already, because most of the esters are coming from when the yeast are dividing and multiplying. So after like the growth period of the fermentation, you can really start to ramp up the temperature. It will only help the yeast, but yeah, keeping it under control there in the beginning is important. But yeah, after that you can start ramp the temperature up, and it will help the yeast, and you will brew faster and you have faster turnaround. Some tip there. You don't need like caramel malts in your black IPAs. You could do like some dextrin malt maybe for like head retention or body. You can also add like wheats and oats if you want to it. This could be a bit darker. And of course, I like a black IPA, like I said, not be like about chocolate and like roastiness, but still be a play between the hops and the roastedness. Because if you're adding like 300-400 grams of Craft 3, it will impart a lot of flavor, but it will not go into like the stout or like porter territory. It's some tip for you. I hope you found this video helpful or at least entertaining. If you aren't already, consider becoming a subscriber. Do hit that little bell so you get notifications when I put out a new video. Please help out by sharing and liking this video. Yeah, and yeah, go down in the description. There's a lot of links. If you're into that, you can check out my Patreon page for the big Dr. Hans recipe book, and yeah, there I do like a more vlog style behind the scenes. Yeah, so thanks Richard, thanks to my patrons, thank you BrewGoat. It's a hectic world out there now, so please stay safe, stay smart, and yeah, don't panic. Take care of you and your family. Cheers guys, and thanks for watching. Dr. Hans out.